Was good. Oh, yes, I will. I sure will. This is smooth. What's the word? What's the word? Angel? Oh my gosh. So good to see you in here. It's been a minute. Oh, we vibing. Yeah, man. Ooh, happy Saturday, everybody. This is that good music for your soul. So all your red flags and all your false starts. When I look at you, I see work of art. I'm on a Lisa that you belong to somebody else. But long as God gives forgiveness, you ask me if I'm feeling, then I spin it. I say, darling, yes, I will. Welcome, everybody. We back. Alert. Yeah, bro. Samba, man. This is the new edition for folks who are curious. Dynamic duo of Samba and Devo, the genius, artist, songwriter, producer duo. This is the first EP they dropped just last month. Oh yeah, that was Yes I Will. What's good, everybody? We back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a record. That's off of Hat Trick 2, first EP dropped by the new edition. If y'all want to check them out, some good records on there. Shout out to the Sound Lab. They got some good artists over there. Listen, y'all are cooking, man. Shout out to Devo and Samba. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. It's good to be back. I know I always play Boston artists in the beginning, but I also need to shout out Chance. I don't know where I've been. I didn't know that he dropped a whole album like a couple months back. I'm mad late, but I just started to listen to some of it, and I'm impressed. Okay, Chance. Okay, with the Chicago energy. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. What's good? Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I'm a little tired. Like, I woke up so early today for no reason. And, like, I had so many ideas, and I couldn't really go back to sleep. One thing about being creative, the ideas do not run. Like, the ideas run even when you're trying to fall asleep. That's the one thing I struggle with. I'll either, like, when I'm trying to go to sleep, it'll just, like, sit on my mind and the gears will be running, or I'll wake up like 7 o'clock in the morning for no type of reason. So here we are, but 2026 is around the corner. I feel like this year just went by in 2 seconds. I feel like I blinked. Oh gosh. Yo, somebody let me know if it's blunk or blinked. Am I tripping? What's good, Muda? Well, I did one of those, and I feel like 2026 is just already here. Hello. Welcome to the 8th Blinked. Okay. Thank you, Lance Martin. Thank you. This is the 8th Beantown Talks, guys. We're, like, about to be at 10. I feel like Blunk has to be... Why do I feel like Blunk is real? I'm about to look that up right now. Blunk. I don't know. The internet is saying that blunk is the past tense of blink. Quickly? I don't know. English is interesting, isn't it? But yeah, y'all, this is the 8th Beantown Talks. We are almost done with the series for this year. We gonna come back. Don't worry. If you are new to the series, welcome everybody. This is where we talk about Boston's past, present, and future in real time. Super unfiltered, open forum style. All perspectives are welcome. All stories are welcome. My name is Stax. For those of you who don't know me, I am from Boston, born and raised, and I'm just, your resident Gen Z Bostonian with a 6-foot vision, trying to bring some love and community into the city and solve some of the problems that need solutions, desperate solutions. Today's gonna be a little different. I know we usually get some special guests, but today's just gonna be me, okay? And we gonna run it back to the very first one. If y'all were there for the very, very first Beantown Talks, it was just me and y'all. But we have one more next week, and that'll cap out the series for this year. We'll go on a little break, and then we'll come back next year. But for anyone who's new and doesn't really know how this works, we, like I said, we usually have a special guest. These tend to be, figures in the city, leaders, artists, people who have spearheaded a lot of great work in the community, or folks who just have a lot of insight to offer on Boston's history and what's happening right now, especially within the arts and culture scene. So we usually have them hop on, we'll have a discussion, but it's an open forum, so even when we have a special guest, anybody is welcome to hop on the live and share their thoughts, but especially today, since we don't have one, I'm gonna need y'all to hop on at some point. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm honestly at any point, low key, if once we get to talking, if you feel inspired to hop on the live, please join me. I don't bite, I swear on everything, okay? I am 6 feet, but I'm not one of those tall people, okay? I'm friendly, I don't bite at all, alright? So please, you can request to join with the little plus sign and the camera icon below, or you can put your hand up, put the little hand wave in the chat, and I will request you to join, right there, like that. Just put it in the chat. Or if you don't feel comfortable to hop on today, you can also put any questions in the chat, any comments in the chat. I'm an open book, y'all. As long as the questions are appropriate, I'll answer anything and everything. But yeah, we usually keep the language respectful. Oh my gosh, you already got a request. Okay, Alvin, give me 1 second. I'm gonna lay out everything, and then I got you as soon as we done. What's good, everybody? Hopping in, welcome. Yeah, we keep the language respectful and PG on this side, okay? I like to give that warning, because these conversations sometimes can be a little emotional. People get to talking about the city and their roots and what's wrong and all of that, and it can bring out some tension and certain emotions sometimes. But all of that is valid. I'm here to. I'm a student of the game. I'm learning this city from front to back, and having the conversations and asking a whole bunch of questions. So I truly mean it when I say it's open forum. I'm willing to hear all perspectives. I just ask that there's no hate speech or vulgar language or any of that. Alright? Just keep the conversation productive. Like I said, if you have any questions specifically, you can either put them in the little question mark icon on the bottom. I'll be checking that throughout. Or you can also just pop them in the little comment section, and I'll be reading them through. And if you want to catch up on any of the episodes, we've had 8 episodes now. We've had 8 episodes. They're all archived on YouTube. I'll kind of do like a recap of all of the guests that we've had on so far. And if you want to catch up on this episode as well, this will also be archived. They always get archived every single week under Beantown Stacks on YouTube, or you can also just go to the link in my bio. Welcome to everyone coming in. Thank you for being here. We also love to go over events. Okay, I always share at least 3. Today I'm gonna give y'all two extra events since we have the extra time. So tonight, 2 nights. That's today. Heal the Hood is hosting an open mic night with a live band, featuring Boston talent. So if you are free, oh gosh, don't get me started, man. Day is fearless. I'm gonna give him that. He shot shots, and I don't think he missed. He called out a lot of people. I don't even know if all the people he called out actually responded. There's some I feel like there's some empty responses in all the different battles he started. I feel like he started 50 of them. But I don't know, man. There was, what was it? Novian? Was one with Novian? Was one with Saza? I think he shouted out. Didn't he say something about Jossie and Evie? He just came. He came for everybody. Ain't nobody safe. Anti, I don't know if you were on that list. Nobody's safe out here. Somebody was like, I forget who said this, but they said something about me potentially getting called out. And I was like, you know what? I would respond, but in like a spoken word way. So, obviously I don't rap or anything, but I feel like my energy would be the J. Cole route. Exactly how J. Cole handled it, I would have handled it that same way. Just answer with peace and love. But nah, they did not come around to play. He's doing great. He's doing great work. I gotta give him his props. And he's calling out people who are older than him too. He ain't no shame. But as he should, though. As he should. Let me know what you think, though. If you feel like anybody won. I don't know if y'all, folks who aren't familiar, Day to Dawn. I've played some of his records at the top of some of our sessions. But yeah, he's a hip hop artist from Boston, Roxbury specifically. And there's a little rap battle going on in the city right now. But it's like, it's good. Iron sharpens iron. The wise words of enjoy the thrill, right? But yeah, the open mic night for Heal the Hood is tonight, and it's free entry with RSVP. Again, that is today. Let me double check where that is actually. I'm pretty sure it's at their headquarters. But if you want to find more information on that, you can go to Heal the Hood HTH. That's the handle. And then tomorrow is the final Story of an Artist showcase. This is a series that goes down at the FPAC Art Space, featuring local poets, singers, rappers, and beats, highlighting the local creative community. There'll be catered Haitian food, during the intermission. So if you're interested in that, that's again tomorrow on 70 Sleeper Street at the FPAC Art Space at 5:30. The open mic for tonight, by the way, is at 8 p.m. And no, I lied. It's 2 to 7. It's happening right now, I believe. Let me not give y'all no misinformation real quick. I'm pretty sure that's at 8 p.m. That's for Heal the Hood. I'll get back to that. But the Story of an Artist tomorrow is at 5:30. And if you want tickets for that, that's going to be at Fort Point Arts Community on Instagram. I misspelled that, but yeah, Fort Point Arts Community. My fault. And then next Friday, December 12th, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, super dope creative nonprofit in the city. They have these monthly Freestyle Fridays. So if you are creative, if you're an artist who's just trying to get like more performance experience in the area, that first open mic I mentioned, and then this event right here, this Freestyle Friday, are really, really great opportunities to just, get some reps in, and kind of like dip your toes in the scene and get some experience there, especially in like a low stakes environment. For Heal the Hood, the open mic, that is at 8 p.m. and it's at 484B Center Street in Jamaica Plain. Again, you can go to the at Heal the Hood HCH for more information on that. Completely free. Next Friday, Beats, Rhymes, and Life for the Freestyle Friday. That's open to all ages, 16 to 26 specifically, and you don't have to have like crazy amount of experience to enter or anything like that. So again, next Friday, December 12th at 207 Dudley Street in Roxbury from 3 to 5 p.m. You can drop in at any point. Completely free entry. And if you want more information on that, that is at BRL Boston on Instagram. Highly, highly recommend. These are all spaces where, again, it's low stakes and very friendly to all experience levels. If you're also just trying to find communities that aren't cliquey, I know everybody wants to throw that around, how cliquey the city is. I'm giving y'all spaces. Okay, no worries, Alvin. I'll catch you later. We definitely gotta catch up. I got you. Yeah, I highly recommend popping up to these all these different platforms. Throwing y'all another one. Next Thursday, December 11th, there's a cool listening and paint party featuring Najee Janey. That's again December 11th at the Piano Craft Gallery. I just went to that venue like a couple weeks back. I didn't know about it this whole time until a few weeks ago, and it's absolutely beautiful. That's from 6 to 10 p.m. And if you want tickets to that, you can go to at Conflique, CONNFLIQUE on IG. Yeah, I cannot spell today. There we go. And then one more for y'all. Also next Friday, there's a whole bunch of events going on next Friday. Play Game Night is bringing a whole bunch of games and good vibes. They have like a karaoke featuring local artists, live DJ, a whole bunch of curated games, dancing. The whole point is to encourage community to just go outside and play. Like, especially, they target adults, specifically young adults, because we be working so hard, we don't make time to actually play like literal games. So that's if you're just trying to be outside and be in community and just chill and be off the clock for a second, that will be December 12th, next Friday, at the Roundhead Brewing in Boston from 7 to 10 p.m. Free entry and free parking. Hallelujah, best of both worlds. And if you are interested in RSVPing, that's going to be at Departure _arts on IG. So those are some things coming up. Hopefully y'all can pull up to one. I myself am going to try to pull up to at least one of these. There's a whole bunch going on in these next few weeks. Boston Music Awards is coming up as well. But if you want to hear about more events like this, there's so many more. This is just 4. But you can definitely head to the link in my bio and join the Discord. We got a whole Discord, and anybody who's saying Boston ain't got a scene, music scene, art scene, we got a whole Discord, and it doesn't even have everybody, but we have a little over 500 people in there, over 500 beautiful, incredible souls in there who are creatives of all types of mediums. We've got producers, engineers, photographers, videographers, artists, visual artists, musical artists, a whole bunch of different folks, managers. So if you're really just trying to find like-minded folks in and around Boston and Massachusetts, I'd say there's some people from like Rhode Island in there, other parts of Mass, Connecticut. So it's really big New England energy in there. And events get posted every single week of local shows, panels, workshops, grant opportunities, gig opportunities, internships, like anything that comes across my radar, I put in there. Because I don't know if I ever gave the story of how that came into fruition, but like I literally just had so many people asking me to send me like events that are happening, and I love doing that, but I can't do it for like 10 people at a time. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just make a big old group chat, so then I can just send it and everyone can receive it at the same time. So if you're trying to just keep a solid pulse on what's going on in the city, I highly encourage you join. It's very, very easy. Again, the link to that is in my bio. We actually have an exclusive virtual event coming up, a little virtual meetup that we're gonna do this month on the Discord, and we'll be discussing some exciting things in the works for 2026. I'm not gonna say too much. It's all still being built, and I the way that I operate, like I love like collaborating with other people and other creatives in this city. So we're gonna kind of be talking about that. I want to get to know everyone's superpowers, like everyone's passion, and see how we can kind of like create this puzzle with everyone's pieces involved. So that'll be dope, and we'll all get to like introduce each other. I think it's dope being in a big old group chat like that, but like it's hard because we can't see each other face to face. So I'm excited. If anybody in the Discord is here on this live stream, I appreciate you, and I've been able to meet some of them too, like in person at some events, which is like always warms my heart. It's so beautiful. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, as I said, welcome to everybody hopping in. This is Beantown Talks. We usually have a special guest, but today we're taking a little quick break. I'm so curious if anybody's like been on the Beantown Talks sessions. I'm curious which one you've like really enjoyed, or if there's any guest in particular conversation that was your favorite. We had like I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've had 6 guests. Started off with Paul Willis. We've had legendary historian and journalist Dar Adams. We had another artist, Milk Shaw, Benedict. We had DJ Dinosaur K from TDS Mob, Insane. And then just recently we had Charlia Brooks and Maystar. Okay, and we have one more. Planned for next week, and I think I won't say too much, because I always like to let y'all guess. But yeah, it'll be, just know we're gonna end off on a strong note for sure. Yeah, I think first off, any of the guests are on here too. Thank you for hopping on here, because the questions I have, I mean, they're endless. I feel like after every session, I got so much clarity. Like this is getting filled up every week. But the great thing is that I also come away with even more questions. So it's been an interesting journey, and I hope it's been able to give clarity to some of y'all too. Whether you're from Boston or not, just like seeing what's been going on and how this city has operated. We have perspectives from all the way from dating back to the 80s, all the way till now. So it's super duper interesting to me. I think I'm understanding, and y'all please, like I said, like y'all can hop on at any point. I'm so sad. Alvin had to dip. But if anybody else wants to hop on and share perspective on any of this, please do. You can literally hit the request button, or you can also just put it in the chat, and I'll have y'all hop on. But from these sessions, what I'm walking away with so much. There's a few different things that I'm starting to understand. It's clear to me that the city has had multiple stints of or like spurts of success, of these like moments of real buzz and motion that is like exclusively driven by the arts. And it seems like the common denominator is the fact that these spurts haven't been sustained, or they haven't been able to be sustained in a significant way. So I've been sitting with that, and my only hope, 2026 will be special. I hope so. I feel it. I feel like there's another spurt in the near future. My hope is that we can study the previous spurts and figure out what went wrong, or what needs to happen in order for it to be sustained. Like, I would love to, I was alive, as I'm sure you all were too. Like, I was alive during those spurts, but, at least the 2010s, that spurt of like the Stizzes and the Mouthies and that crew. But, I wasn't old enough to like fully understand what was happening. I also just I didn't have any direct ties to like that Boston music community. Hello everyone popping in, what's good? So yeah, like I didn't really see it, but I'm like here to now like hear that was happening, and that was a very real thing. I'm like, okay, let's be prepared for when that happens again, because I have faith that it's going to happen. There's a number of artists who are doing really great work and are on the cusp of that breaking point. Even like organization wise, I have to shout out Beat the Odds, with the Mass Music and Art Summit. Like, there's more attention, there's more eyes being brought to Boston talent, and it'd be great if we could set ourselves up for success now, so then when it happens, it's something that we can run with. And I will say too, like, it's cool to hear. I feel like now with the artists and creators I'm seeing, and the organizations and platforms, there's a lot more people who are intentionally passionate about like bringing value to Boston. Not that everybody has to stay here, and that's a whole other conversation. I don't think. Actually, Maystar talked about on the last session, like, there's no one should stay in their area forever, for a lot of different reasons. But there's, you have a choice whether you wish to carry your city with you as part of your story or not. There's many sides and different scenes, but only one scene gets invited for events with funding. Everyone else builds their own team and builds separately. What's that one scene that you're talking about? I'm curious. But I do agree, there's definitely like a whole bunch of scenes, even just within like the arts and culture scene. There's definitely so many that I'm not even like fully, I'd say, like, even within music, I can't even say that I have a full grasp on music, because even within music there's like the rock and all the split subgenres. It gets very extensive. But yeah, funding, that's like a whole other topic too, because I'm realizing that I think there's a lot of value in building community and focusing on like the people on the ground. But then I've been learning about how the funding piece works, and how like from a state level, just on a state level, like the state gets a certain budget. And please People correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm still learning all this and trying to make sense of all of this. But the way it's been explained to me is like there's a certain budget that the state gets, and based on certain like needs and priorities that they define, they split up that budget to different sectors. And it's no surprise that with Boston specifically, Massachusetts at large, it's very heavy emphasis on like tech and healthcare and education, and sports, right? Like those are our top industries. And so when we look at the whole pie, arts ends up getting barely anything by default. And so then that pie of arts funding for the whole state gets dissected. Like that has to be distributed across the whole state. Like I know a lot of these conversations are about Boston, but the truth is that we're not the only city either. There's an internet/underground scene and a drill scene, etc., but only the boom bap side gets city funding. Really? Talk about like hip hop boom bap? It's not bad, it's expected. That's interesting. I'd wanna, if you feel comfortable hopping on at any point, I'd love to hear more. Because I feel like I've been hearing the exact opposite. I feel, especially knowing the history of how hip-hop has been received in the city. Like, there was a point where it just wasn't allowed at all. But I feel like our hip-hop artists and our black artists in particular are, like, struggling the most when it comes to funding. Especially because I feel like the city is still a little archaic when it comes to like defining what art is. I feel like, especially if we're talking about like grants, like that type of funding coming directly from city, from local government, it's like, when they think of art, it's like the visual artists and the murals, or even like theater, like that's opera, and even like musical instruments a lot of the times gets prioritized versus like anything related to hip hop. But it's a time thing. I agree. It's not that any of this is bad. It's expected. We're still babies. Like this entire country, next year is only going to be 250 years of America as a whole, which, in comparison to a lot of other countries is very, very, very small. So, yeah, I agree. It's just time. I have faith. I'm gonna keep saying that. I have faith. Somebody's gotta have faith, okay? Hello, everyone. Please don't be shy, y'all. If you have any insight, if you have any questions to offer or any opinions, like please join the conversation. Adding on to that, I think the other issue I've been hearing from the guests that we've had so far is this like pattern of like the city not championing itself for some reason. Like when somebody does well, it's like a turn off. Historically, I think I'm seeing like a little less of that now, but it seems like back then that was a whole thing. Or like I remember somebody telling me with Donna Summer, for example, like they didn't really embrace her until after her passing, unfortunately, which I don't think is just a Boston thing. I think a lot of these things like we think is just our city, but it's really just a human thing. Like I think that happens in so many other places, but that's definitely something I've picked up on from all these conversations of like, I don't know, well, when people get there, and maybe it's an ego thing. I think some of it is a little bit of a Napoleon complex. We are a small city. We are right next to New York. So I feel like we're the little sibling that's like trying to, I be doing the same thing with my small self. But yeah, I feel like we gotta, in order for us to like really see that change, in addition to time, like you said, industry plan, it's like, It's understanding that there's room for all of us. Like, there really is. There's so much room. I think it can be done. I think it can be more than one person, y'all. I think people are embracing each other more, yep, and going to each other's shows. You also can't force someone to like someone, for sure. Ego has a lot to do with it too, especially in hip hop. It's very competitive. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. I think with the, specifically in hip hop, this is an interesting conversation. It'd be dope to have like when I mentioned the battle rap going on right now, it'd be cool to like get some of their perspectives. But there's an art to that is like, but I feel like the angle is different. It's not like a, with hip hop, it at least it shouldn't be. I feel like it shouldn't come from a place of like, I genuinely think I'm better than you and you don't deserve to be where I am. You don't deserve to be seen. It's just like, exactly, it's like good competition. It's, again, like sharpening iron, and like pushing each other and inspiring each other and motivating each other. And I've been getting that energy from like the local battles that have been happening. I mean, shout out to Master of the Chamber too. For folks who aren't familiar, that is a hip hop competition organized by Enjoy the Thrill, and I'm looking forward to seeing them potentially come back in 2026. But they'll have like bracket style competitions between local hip hop artists. They've had R&B editions as well, and basically like the artists will go head to head the whole night, and whoever comes out on top as, Master of the Chamber, the audience votes after each round based on, applause and all of that. It forces people to create and do better. Yep. It puts more eyes on both parties. Completely agree. Yeah, I think what's kept the city back, specifically in hip hop, are those moments where the competition becomes like less that energy and more of like genuine, like, I don't like you and there's only room for one of us. And that's gonna hold anybody back. It's gonna hold any community back. Forget just our city. But it's always gonna be there. It's wishful thinking to think that's just gonna go away. It's literally human nature, and like you said, I think the support is like so much more heavy now. It's so much more apparent. The love for each other, at least from what I'm seeing. Y'all can, and I'm just in Boston. I've never been to like Western Mass. I gotta, once I start driving, okay. I'll be popping over. I'll be checking everybody out. But yeah, I don't know what the scenes are like outside of Boston, and I think Charlia mentioned this on her convo. I think that like, for example, with Atlanta, when they talk about the Atlanta scene, it's not just Atlanta based artists. They include even the outskirts into that conversation, and we're just so divisive. Like, if you are even, yeah, it was Charlie. She's like, even if you're like 2 seconds outside of the line, then like Bostonians will just like they'll come at you. They'll come at straight for your neck. We are releasing our updated mass iceberg list next week. It will stir the pot. Okay. I don't know why I thought y'all, how many times a year do you release that list? 'Cause I feel like I saw one. But maybe that was for like a different quarter. That's fire. Definitely plug that for folks who are interested in just like keeping up with, some of the upcoming emerging artists that are coming out of the city and state right now. Super great work. Oh shoot, we've only been running this page for 6 months. Okay. Congratulations. Shout out to all the pages that are really like doing that work, just to spotlight. Like that is a righteous act. I think Mass Effect is also in that conversation. So Ripe, they've been doing a lot of like content, just spotlighting artists and having them share their tunes, and they've been doing great work. Like, seriously, y'all are. This is when we talk about PR, like shifting the narrative. And somebody had to like reconfirm this for me too. Like, if we want to shift the narrative and like really put on display what we know our city and state to be, we have to be the ones to do that. Like, we can't just keep complaining about, folks not understanding or folks having these misconceptions. Like, it's like, okay, recognizing that and being like, bet, I'm a make a platform that like literally puts it in front of people's faces. I'm gonna make content that like literally brings them straight to you. Nayburn narratives. I moved to Boston 2009 to 2014 for school, and then Cambridge 2014 to 2017. Moved away from my doctoral training and postdoc, but when I lived there, I was primarily there as theater and movement artist. Oh my gosh. I'm curious where you're originally from. Also, hello everyone coming in. Hello, hello. If anyone's comfortable with hopping on at any point live, please do. Please. I love being face to face. I've gotten more comfortable like doing this because I'm such a like behind the scenes type of person. And also like so much of my job like on a day-to-day is working with people. So I remember when this first started, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no pressure, y'all. That's fire. Let me know where you're from, Nayburn. And I'm curious like what your thoughts were on the city, especially like on the art side of things. It sounds like you were doing like doctoral training. I don't know if you got a chance to see much of like the theater movement dance scene at all. I think events are key, but we don't have as many locations as places like LA, New York, Miami. Yeah, that's funny. I was just talking to these Northeastern students about venue spaces, and it's a whole epidemic. We've had a lot of, like, don't get me wrong, we have a lot of really great major venues, like the A-list ones, the venues that and spaces that a lot of like heavy hitters will pass through. Those are cool, but the spaces that are accessible for local creatives are just dwindling. A lot of them. Locations are either too small or too large. Bars are starting to welcome rap though. Yeah. There's been a lot more reception to rap and hip hop for sure over the recent years. Shout out to the OGs who have opened that and helped the city recognize too how crucial it is and how deeply rooted it is in like our history specifically. But yeah, I've literally like low-key joked about building a venue at some point. But here's my thought though. Because I'm 24, I got time. I'm not trying to rush anything, okay? And I definitely don't have the capital right now. But if I don't know, maybe 5 years from now, I'm gonna give it 5 solid years. By the end of 5 years, if I don't see like a strong, solid venue that's like accessible for all size acts, I mean, it would be more appealing for, the locals, the mid-tier kind of acts. If I don't see that, and if I don't see it in like the inner cities, that's the other thing. That's my other issue with venues. There's a lot of spaces, like the nice spaces are not in the inner cities. And when I say that, I mean Dorchester, I mean Roxbury, Hyde Park, Mattapan, like, and that's where I grew up. I'm from the hood. I'll put that on my rib. But we don't have a lot out here at all. Like, there's mad artists who are like forced to go to Cambridge and Alston and Back Bay and all these other parts of the city to put on a show or put on some kind of event. And of course, cost Cost is a huge issue. But I want to see that. And I know there's like a certain project in the works. The Grok, if y'all are familiar, the Greater Roxbury, I forget what it stands for, but it's, I think they're getting capital for it. I hope it's still in motion, but it's a performing arts space that's supposed to be built right next to Nubian Station, which could be such a game changer. I think there's like another jazz lounge. I forget what it's called, but it's supposed to be in the bowling building. I think that's also still in construction. So like I have faith for what like that part of Boston could look like. I think Nubian Square is like a really fire area that could definitely be more than what it is. But like we need venues on our side, bro. Lady Cat, hello. Hi, I moved here 5 years ago and I saw more of galleries and museums because I'm not very musical myself. I've been to student Shakespeare production once. That's fire. That's fire. I'm also curious. Y'all gotta tell me where you're from too. Also, am I tripping or did this put a filter on me real quick? I did not put that on. All right. Yeah, that's one thing about the galleries and museums. They get a lot of the funding. They sure do. All those major museums, ICA and Isabella Stewart Gardner, MFA, yo, they're solid. It's okay though. It's okay. I'm only asking that the city also considers the other types of arts that are like not traditional. They doing the Kai Cenat method. About capital and location, I heard TJ Maxx is closing on Newberry Street. I heard that too. That's very sad. If it could be an art center, it would be super. Yeah, I heard about that too. I wonder if it's just TJ Maxx in general, though. I don't know if it's like something special about that location, but yeah, I think, we've seen so many venues come and go out here, like the smaller ones. And, the common denominator is funding. Like, it's capital and money is the source of so many problems. And it really shouldn't be. But, it's the rent is already high for residents. The rent is already through the roof. So then I can only imagine for venue owners what that looks like. And the reality is like, yeah, it's nice to have a venue space that like we've seen them, ones that are like, super accessible for local creatives, but then you have to think like, does that economically make sense? What are the numbers looking like for the locals? Are they able to like actually pull in a draw and like, do their part? But so it's a tricky game. It's definitely a tricky game. But I think there's some strategy there too, like because I do talent management, and there's definitely like a strategy to putting on. If we're talking about shows specifically, like there's a way to be strategic about it, where you build a certain bill. If you as cannot pull that many people and sell that many tickets, you got to be a little strategic and figure out, all right, who else in the city do I know has like a solid pull and can kind of like help me boost those numbers. As someone who throws events, the hard part is finding an artist who can draw a crowd. That's like the worst nightmare. I've never, managed a venue, but I can imagine that's the worst nightmare. Like, booking an artist and, they might give you a number. They might give you a projected number for their pull, but then, day of comes around and it's not looking all set. Streams don't equal ticket sales. Oof! Industry plant. You speaking a lot of truth. My other qualm is, like, I think so many artists are focused on, like, those numbers and all those, like, metrics, monthly listeners and the followers and content. Like, that's great. That's great and all. But exactly like you said, it doesn't always translate to what your like immediate community looks like. And I feel like the best way to like get those people is to be in community. It's just I think Russell like made a video about this. Like if you are an artist, you need to be in community. You need to be like showing up and being face to face with these people. They care about cosmetic stats. Yeah, but I also don't blame artists too, because I feel like that's what is always put on display in terms of what matters. Like, you know, we're almost conditioned. A lot of creatives are conditioned to focus more on that versus like real community building, boots on the ground. Likes, followers, monthlies can all be botted. Yeah, you can't bot butts and seats. That part. And that is like the best, that is the most physical way to see your growth as an artist. And I commend any artist. There's a whole bunch that I've been seeing in the city who have like taken, you know, gone to that next level of headlining and putting on their own shows, you know, booking their own tour routes. Like that's a big deal. There's definitely an art to community building, community organizing. That's basically what you're doing. That's what anybody is doing. It just depends on what your vehicle is, whether it's, or, you know, are you doing it as a nonprofit? Are you doing it as an artist? Are you doing it through music? Like there's a whole lot of different ways that you can build community around what you're doing. And being an artist in music is just one of them. But yeah, shout out to anybody who has a venue. Okay, Heal the Hood. See, that's how I know God, because I said that and Heal the Hood just joined. Because it is not easy, man. It's not easy to keep the lights on, especially in this economy, in this market. I'm going to shout out Heal the Hood's event again for folks who missed. It's happening tonight, open mic with a live band. Address is 484B Center Street, Jamaica Plain at 8 p.m. Please pull up. All good vibes. All right. One of the few is not. I said that we don't have a whole bunch of venues and spaces in the inner city, but this is one of the few ones, and it's a safe one at that. And then, you know, shout out to Hibernian Hall. They celebrated 20 years this year, I believe. Strand Theater, you know, very historic landmark. Needs renovation, needs love, but, you know, still standing. Like, we've got some spaces for sure, but like I said, 5 years, and y'all can hold me to that. Y'all can definitely hold me to that. 5 years from now, if I don't see it, I'm going to figure out how to get that. I'm going to figure out how to make that happen. What's the capacity? The capacity of which venue? I probably might not know off the top, but I can try and look it up. What's good, y'all? What's good, Jemmy? Welcome. Yeah, the address is 484B Center Street, Jamaica Plain. And also, if anybody, again, wants to hop on and join, please let me know. You can request to join. Anyone's welcome. We can have up to 4 people at once. I love talking to y'all. Thank you for ranting with me and conversating with me and sharing all these perspectives. We appreciate your great mind. Oh, thank you for stepping in your power in the line of greatness for others outside of yourself. It speaks volumes to the intentionality you have as a person. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Listen, it all comes from a very deep spiritual understanding of what I believe I was put on this earth to do. And I think we all carry light, which means that not only do we shine, everybody shines and glistens in their own way, but also as light, it is your job to illuminate. You know, it's not just about you flaming and being shiny and bright. Like, that's cool. We're all bright as individuals, but also use your light to illuminate and to cast out darkness as much as possible. Is it a venue people can book for shows, or is it a restaurant? I honestly would let Heal the Hood answer that. I'm pretty sure it's a venue that people can book. I'm not like super certain on what their process looks like, but I know they have like different events there. They've done food drives. I'll let Heal the Hood. Also, if y'all want to hop on real quick, do a little shout out, little promo for yourselves, please. You are more than welcome to do so. You know what I've also thought about, y'all? I've thought about making a database. And shout out to DJ Big Bear, because he kind of helped me. He gave me a lot of things to think about, a lot of ideas, and that was one of them. Like putting a database together of just different things, and it would be like a extensive project kind of, but like, you know, the venues, the event community spaces, the studios, the even like a database of artists and people who can offer certain services. And you know, I would definitely, or photographers, videographers, like just having a database of all these different resources in the city. I've definitely thought about that, but that's a whole other story, y'all. That's a whole other story, and that's we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what that process looks like at some point. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Hello. This is Beantown Talks. We're just yapping. We're yapping today. We ain't got a special guest for this week. Taking a little break, but just, you know, talking about Boston, the pains, the pain points, the gain points, everything in between. If anybody has anything to offer, a question, feel free to ask me literally anything under the sun, as long as, you know, it's PG. I'm an open book. Julia, oh my gosh. Speaking of artists in the city, oh my gosh. So good to see you. Yeah, bro, I used to be an artist. Fun fact. I do a lot more like business stuff now. I'm completely behind the scenes at this point, but I was an artist for like 5 years, and I thought I was gonna do that for the rest of my life, but I'm glad that I had that experience. It gives me so much context for everything that I'm doing now, and I understood the city as an artist at one point. Like, I fully had that perspective. You know, it was more so on like the Cape Verdean side of things. I did some like non-Cape Verdean events, but it was mostly Cape Verdean. But even then, like, I was able to, you know, go to, you know, book different shows and the venues, spaces. It was a while ago, but yeah, very, very interesting. You're amazing. Oh my gosh, that's all you. Love following your journey. You are an artist in every way, in the way you move. Such respect for you, girl. Oh my gosh. Ditto. Major, major, major ditto. Y'all, please check out Julia. She's incredible. Such a, like, some people are just pure souls. That's one of them. That's one of them. God understood the assignment. I love the idea of the database because you'll be aligning a track record with great spaces that can ensure people's intentionality and creative artistic ways. Yeah, and it's just, I'm finding that this city, like, I keep hearing the same issue of people just like asking for certain resources and not knowing where to go. Like, oh, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, I'm looking for a manager, I'm looking for this person, I'm looking for this kind of space. And it's like, you know, if we can at least have a foundation to start with, because I don't know everything. I definitely wouldn't be able to spearhead that database on my own, but like, I can at least throw in what I know, and then have people kind of fill in other spots that they might know about. Like, I don't know what that looks like yet, but it could be cool, and I'm surprised that there isn't already something like that. Like, I would expect that, I don't know, maybe like the Office of Arts and Culture, like the local government would have something like that, or like some major Boston media outlet would already have something like that, specifically for creatives, like community spaces, but you know, the people got to spearhead. The people got to spearhead. Majority of the artists we cover are internet kids. Are you saying for your own platform, Industry Plant? But yeah, I'd be interested to see what that looks like and just keep brainstorming on that. AKA SoundCloud, COVID kids, etc. People who do their work on Discord and IGDMs. Yeah. That's the other thing. The generations are changing, right? Like, even with the Discord, I've thought, like, dang, I would love older generations to be on here too, but I know that Discord is not something that they're comfortable with. That's not something that they grew up with, and you know, I think for the younger generations, it's up to us to either like exclude them and just be like, oh, well, they don't know how to use this platform, or teach them. Like I've thought about at some point making some type of walkthrough, just to help folks get acclimated, you know, because there's a lot of like people around my generation, but you know, not really the older folks are in there, or even with the database, like figuring out what platform that would make sense. I think that's the hardest part, honestly. It's not even gathering the information, because that's easy. That's we everybody in this stream knows somebody who knows a resource who can add on. That's not hard. Like identifying them, it's just figuring out what that looks like, how to structure it, and what system it lives in that is like comfortable and accessible for as many people as possible. Something that can be like passed down, like for generations to come who are growing up in the city. Even like, I think this should be something that's accessible for transplants too. People who are just passing through, maybe somebody who's visiting and they're just like, oh, like I want to know, like imagine, I don't know, somebody from all these other major markets wants to tap in with Boston, and like that could be a paid opportunity for some people, or even like a booking agency wants to specifically work with a Boston creative, or some type of I don't know, like a marketing campaign that's looking for a local creative, and then it's just like this list of folks that they can tap into, or these organizations they can tap into. Like I'd love to see something like that, but I think the hardest part is like figuring out what that looks like. It's not impossible though, I have faith. We hosted a Song Wars on Discord, but it's Deaf Generation thing. Discord fascinates me a lot. There's like so much more that you can do with it that I didn't even realize. And I'm not a tech person at all. Like the way that the Beantown scene Discord is set up, I just spent a few hours like looking at a whole bunch of videos to get it to where it is now. But I am not a tech person at all. Somebody showed me like coding, like there's a way to like code certain bots and everything to do certain things. I think it's very, very fascinating. I'm excited to like keep learning more. I had to step away, but hope to be in community with you in the future. At the vet with my dog. No, you're all good. I hope your dog is doing well. I'm sending love. To the puppies. Absolutely. And I'm very excited for 2026, y'all. Like I'm gonna just, you know what? I'm gonna just say it here, okay? It's a little exclusive tidbit. I think, especially just hearing from everyone in the community right now, like, folks want to meet up. Like, folks want to be in person. I would love, you know, God willing, 2026, put on some type of in-person event. The energy in the Discord is like, it's really beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I want to continue that and see if we can replicate it in an in-person context, which I think is not going to be hard at all. And I really want that space. Again, like, y'all get to see the growth in real time. Like, I do not have it all figured out. This all just started. This is all, like, coming straight from the seed for real. Like, I wouldn't even say the tree is fully formed. Like, the roots are just now forming. That's the stage that we're at. And I really appreciate y'all for being here and, like, being part of this process. Because I'm sure, like, when the tree starts growing even more, like, there's a lot of people who just, you know, they wouldn't have seen this process. So I really, really appreciate it. Um, so I don't know what that looks like for next year, but I know what it feels like. So I'm excited to build with y'all for sure. It could be a web page. Just need to know who is target audience. Yeah. See, the thing I guess it would have to be like one system where like I can collect data from others. Like I've tossed around the idea of just like literally gathering people's information. If you're a creative and you have a service to offer, you know, like for example, there've been times where I've sent recommendations for videographers and photographers for like certain executives coming into the city. That's not hard. Anybody who asks me for recommendations, I can easily do that. But I want to know about everybody. Yeah, please. Oh my gosh. Please join. You can press let me know if you need me to request you or if you want to add hit the little plus sign on the bottom. But yeah, that's another project for next year. And it just takes maintenance. That's all. At some point, I'm gonna probably have to build out a little team. I'm not gonna lie, because it's just me. It is a team of just me. Alright, I got you. Hello, hello. Hello!
Hi,
Oh my gosh! So nice to meet you!
nice to meet you too.
I appreciate you hopping on. Can you let us know your name, where you're from, what you do, all the good stuff?
Uh, okay, my name is Katya. I am originally from Russia, but it was a long time since I've been there.
Mm,
And right now I'm reside in Massachusetts,
fire.
and I'm interested in this kind of uh, art scene a little bit. But the more important like question was like this database that you're interesting to create, because for me it sounds like it could be like a site, and you can be admin to that, and it just need to be plugged in into the social networks that are interested for you, like Facebook or Reddit or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
If there is too many of those plugins, it won't work because they will always update something, and you just spend all time maintaining it,
Right,
and it
right.
will be hard for one person. Yeah, I'm not sure. There is like very established project. Do you know what a book crossing is?
No, actually.
Oh, can I okay. So it is like international movement of people who are like leaving books in a different places.
Mm,
Yeah, and it didn't start like that. It started like I think with from like some small. I'm not sure which country it started from. Sorry. And overall, there is like yeah, you just can get all like everything from that. Yeah.
oh
All
wow.
right.
So do people like what do they search in?
Um, this one it was the example of like social media independent system. Yeah, but with this, you can find the book somewhere in the world, and there will be like a small number. You enter this number, and you can find where this book came from, who have read it before.
Mm,
Yeah,
I see. And what's the website for that? Is that Book Crossing?
book crossing. Yeah, .com.
That could be interesting to have like I'm seeing this is like so much more complicated, but almost like, you where you can filter, you can kind of like you can be like, okay, I'm looking for studios in Boston, and you kind of filter it out, and that pops up. It would
Ah,
be cool if it was like a visual map to, or not, but yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fire.
So like it is like very raw idea, but with books there is one thing that book cannot get closed down. It's like if it exists, it will be existing for a long time. And with venues, sometimes it could be like, oh, and if everything needs to be updated, right?
Mm,
Yeah. So that's the not a problem, but it is like the part of the business, right?
got you. And are these books free or are people
Yeah,
paying for them?
it's free. Uh, let's say, yeah.
That's
So
fire.
you can send book like even right now, just print it and left it somewhere, and it will be gone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So are when they, in terms of where they're located, are they in like libraries or other?
Um, yeah, they can be in libraries. They can be okay. Oh, I found it. When and how did it start? So books were not only items collected and revered, but were intrinsically shared. This way, this journey has begun, and they launched the site where you can just track the books.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and it's started in Idaho, USA.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
I'm gonna definitely look into this. Dang, y'all giving me so many ideas. How long have you been in Boston now? Or in Massachusetts?
Uh, I think a little bit less than 4 years.
Got you. What have you do you feel like you've been able to get into the art scene at all, or are you still kind of finding your way?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I didn't look for the way until recently.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, actually, it is my whole point. So now I will need to go.
Yeah, oh my gosh, do your thing. It's so nice
All
meeting
right.
you. I appreciate you.
Nice to meet you too. All right. Bye bye. How I can
Peace.
over here? Yeah.
We are gonna help promote an NYE party and we'll throw a concert in January. Okay, okay. We active out here, that's for sure. Thank you, Katya, for that resource. That definitely gave my brain is like doing that thing that happens right before I sleep, where it's just like a bunch of ideas. And I'm like a creative business person. So like I see it visually what it could potentially look like. I'm also not a website designer. I can see it. I can give the ideas. But yeah, that's a project. That's a that's a project. It would be dope though. I would love to, if it hasn't been done before, there's an opportunity to make it happen, right? That's how I see it. Um, but yeah, y'all, man, I appreciate every single one of you. Like I said, um, this is Beantown Talks. We have all our conversations are around just figuring out how to better Boston and fill in the gaps. I think my number one takeaway, number one, is like yes, there's value in studying what went wrong, especially like with how my brain works. Like I love um talking I love like just studying, like being a student and like literally treating it like school. And I love asking why, like to everything. Even when you answer the my first why, I'm gonna ask why to that next question. And I feel like I've been going down that hole with just Boston history and culture lately. And while that is necessary, that work is absolutely necessary. Um, I also think it's really important to just be the example after a certain point. Like, yes, study, question, but also be an example of the solutions that you want to see. Um, so that's what I'm working on right now. Like, all of that vision of what we want Boston to be and what we want it to feel like, and what we want the energy to feel like. I try to embody that as much as possible. Whatever I post, whatever I put out is I hope for it to be something that's positive, that's a positive outlook on the city, something that inspires people to like see the value in community and working with each other. Even if it hits one person who's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know there were black people in Boston, but now I see this and I see that there are." Like on the that level, like on the most basic level ever. If it enlightens at least one person, then that's one less person who like has bought into the misconception. That's how I see it. Every space I go into, I try to speak very highly of Boston, which isn't hard for me. There's a lot to be proud of. I love educating people and providing perspective on what I know. I can't make that clear enough. I've learned a lot. I'm still learning though. There's no number of Beantown talks that we could do that will get me to the point where I feel like an expert. Honestly, like there's so many people that need to pass through on this platform. And even just having one conversation isn't enough. Even with all the guests that we've had so far, those were great starters, but I still have more questions for every single one of them. And I'm sure they also have questions too. So, I'm but that excites me. That excites me about this work, that there is no end to it, and there's so much more complexity beneath the surface than what we think. Um oh, with Beantown Talks. Oh, okay. Listen, I'm always down for a little collab, okay? I'm two heads is always better than one. I always say that, and I'm just a big proponent of supporting community however I can. I can't always show up to everything, and sometimes I be slow in my responses because it's just so much going on. But I do make that a point. So like when I can and when I'm able, I will. Period. When I can, when I'm able, period. And even when I can't, whatever I can do from, remotely or from where I am, even if it's, connecting dots and putting this person in contact with this person, I love doing that. And I feel like that's really my job. That's really my whole job here. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all so much for hopping on. Like I said, we're gonna have one more guest to close out the year, and just because I feel extra nice, I'll reveal the gender. She is a queen. Okay, we have the ultimate queen coming in next week. I think it'll be a perfect closeout to this first season of Beantown Talks. It'll be our ninth one. We'll take a little break and then we'll come back top of next year's Super Strong. So yeah, and I took note of all the recommendations y'all had. Okay, I'm working on Edo G. I do not have a direct line to Mr. Edo G, but I know a lot of people who do. So I'm a I'm gonna try to get him on here. Who else popped up? Oh my God, Benzino. Somebody mentioned Benzino. I also don't have a direct line to him, but like I said, the city is very small, and if we're talking about the arts world, music world, that is also super duper small. Um, I'll also share with y'all too. There's another edition of Beantown Talks that I am working on, and it will be focused, because these Beantown Talks usually feature folks who are in Boston, right? People who are on the ground out here. There's another edition I'm working on that'll focus on people who are from Boston but have left to pursue, their careers. Specifically, like people who've been able to um, make a lot of waves in their industries. And there's a lot. And I come from a music industry background, so you know, a majority of the guests, at least in the beginning, will be in the music entertainment world. But we have a lot of heavy hitters who just happen to be from Boston, and something you would never know. Like I've been caught off guard sometimes, so my whole concept is like just giving these people a reason to come back. Like I don't think it's that people don't like the city and they don't care about giving back. I think they just need an opportunity to do so. So I'm working on it. I'm cooking. I'll let y'all know when the food is ready. But again, I don't have enough words in the dictionary to thank all of you for whether you've been here since the first Beantown Talks or whether this is your first one right now. Thank you for being part of this community. And my DMs are open. Y'all know that. Um, my email is also open. The Discord is also open. Y'all got a whole bunch of different ways to get into contact with me if you have questions about absolutely anything. But especially if you want to like just keep up to date with everything that's going on in the city, the Discord is where you want to be at. Link is in my bio. And yeah, I will catch y'all on the other side. I'll catch y'all next week. Peace, peace. Happy Saturday.